Hi, this is Weekly Reflections, and I'm Nancy Joy, back after a missing week. I was in New York City, had an amazing time, saw Wicked, went to the Museum of Modern Art, had all kinds of fun. Anyway, this week, I really wanted to talk to you about believing in the impossible. In fact, knowing deep inside of you that the impossible is certain. We're getting it from all angles now, getting bombarded by so much chaos, so much change, so much fear-mongering. And yet, we've discussed there's that connection inside of self, that God, creator, heart-centered you that knows the truth, and it lives, and you feel it, and you know it. So listen to this. This is from Alice in Wonderland, Lee Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Alice laughed. "There's no use trying," she said. "One can't believe impossible things." "I dare say you haven't had much practice," said the Queen. "When I was your age, I always did it for half an hour a day. Why, sometimes I believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." I love it. I love it because during this chaotic time, we are more or less at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, right? And everything makes no sense. It doesn't make sense to what we know in our hearts, and yet we're looking out there in our 3D world thinking, well, this is what's really happening. And the only reason we attach to it is because we are still working our way out of the mind matrix and the ego domination of the egocentric I. And so this quote from Alice in Wonderland, it's almost funny. It's every time man has taken a quantum leap in evolution and the timeline and technology, it's because someone embraced the impossible and made it possible. And I don't need to name, before we could fly, before there were rocket ships, before there was the internet, all of it, right? All of it. So why not believe the impossible? And I would encourage everyone during these chaotic times to follow the Queen's advice. And every day, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impossible things. Feel them in your heart. You don't have to figure out how. I love it. One time years ago, one of my masters, one of my mentors and teachers said to me, yours is not to ask why or how or when. It's just simply to know. And in this case, it's to know the impossible is possible. And it's so important to remember that during this time, because somehow or another we get taken off track. And I think in our minds, we like to keep everything in proper order, and we create what we think we can create. And as we're figuring out how something impossible might happen, we're doing that in our minds. I'd say 99% of the time it doesn't happen like our minds have created it to happen. But with the energy of this new moon on November 6th, I think a doorway shot open, and then we have another configuration coming up in the skies, the 9th through the 17th, involving again, Pluto and Uranus and so forth. So you can look that up if you want in any of the astrology reports. But it kind of says things are going to happen. And they can either happen in chaos, or they can happen in you knowing that, wow, the impossible is being created out of this chaos. Lee Carroll poignantly understood, as he took Alice to some amazing inconsistencies in Wonderland years ago, that you could change the craziness with the impossible. Like, we're at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, are we not? I think anyone can doubt that we are all experiencing the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, where nothing makes sense. You're pouring tea into the ground and things are tipping over and people are getting small and large and cut off their heads. All that's going on right now. And the fascinating thing is to know that, just like Alice, when you realize you can take the craziness and create the impossible wonders of the new reality that you've all dreamed of, then life gets very exciting. And I really feel that doorway was opened at this full moon. So I'm inviting each of you to energize this consciously. by thinking of the Queen's words and creating as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. In other words, when the illusion is showing you economic collapse or anything else, create out of it the impossible abundance that's headed your way. You may lose your job, but you can transform it, or your home, but transform it into living your passion in a better place. It's always the opportunity to take the Mad Hatter's Tea Party and turn it into an impossible wonderland of your choosing. It's your choice. Where your life seems to be showing you what's wrong, create out of it the impossible right. It's your wonderland. It's your choice. It's your shift. Have some fun with this one. I please would ask everyone to just take a moment and send love vibrations and healing vibrations to my dear friend Sue Isaac, who's going through a very painful and difficult physical time after some surgery. Love you, Sue. If you're listening to this, I hope you feel everyone's prayers coming your way. So take care of who you are. Enjoy your week this week. And create at least one day a week, 6 impossible things before you have your breakfast. Catch the magic. See you next week.